Well, good afternoon. I'm here in Afton, Minnesota at Afton State Park. I'm going to go do a hike. I'm in the north part of the park and I'm going to hike some of these trails. I used to use them for preparing for backpacking trips. It's pretty nice, a lot of different terrain. You've got flat hills, you get to walk along the St. Croix River, there's woodlands, and then there's flat prairie land. So it's a very beautiful hike, the varied terrain. What we're going to do today is we're in the north part of the park right up here. And we're going to go down here, along here, down here. I've never been down here, but I want to try it and come back up along here, see this lookout. Probably cut through here. It's kind of a nice little trail. Then go along the St. Croix River to here and then switch back my way back up here towards the backpacking campground and then out along here and back. Come along and join me. This is, you have to, the north parking lot, you still have to have a vehicle permit to park there for the state park, which I do. They're working on the bridge in the south part, so that part's closed for parking. So let's go and do this hike. Just a few grasshoppers out here. Wow. Before I disappear into the woods here, give a little panoramic of what's behind me here. It looks pretty nice. Pretty nice back here. I have never been back in this part. Feels like you're nice and remote. More of a trail than just a road or a path. Hit the junction. I still haven't seen Trout Brook yet. I believe that's the way I'm supposed to go up. Well, it turns out if you just take a right at that junction and go maybe 20-30 yards, you'll run into, they call it Trout Brook. I'm not seeing any trout down there. Well, back up here on the top of the hill after a much steeper climb than I was expecting out of Trout Brook. But I'd rather climb up the steep ones than go down them. Well, you could continue straight down there, and it's there's a nice overview of the St. Croix River down there. I'm gonna cut across here. First, I'm gonna stop and have some water. And then we're going to take a right here. You can go straight and hit a road down to the river, but I like this trail to the right more. It's more of a trail than a path. So I never knew this existed back here, but there's a little campground with actually a little sort of a shelter there. Well, this last little bit of downhill's been kind of steep and kind of loose rock, so you got to really pay attention to what you're doing. Should be getting down close to the river here pretty soon. Well, if I went that way, I'd end up in the south part of the park. Don't want to do that, so I'm going to head down this way to the swimming beach and the park down there. Here at the swimming beach, if you go up the hill that way, that's where the backpacking campground is. We're going to head down here towards the St. Croix River and just kind of sit for a bit. Well, nice thing here down by the beach, they actually have some bathrooms, so it's a nice little break area. I'm going to continue along the river going upstream to the north, and I think this is an old railroad bed, if I remember correctly from what I read, and there's talk of hopefully making this into a bike path that will go from Stillwater down to Prescott, down to Hastings, sort of connect things together. Not sure if I'll live long enough to see that, but I'd like to. Well, down there is the end of the park boundary, so you can't go any further, and you head up this trail here, and from my experience this is a pretty good climb going up this way. It's really cool. The trail here goes through a stand of what I think look like red pines. Well, I'm pretty much to the top of that climb. Quite frankly, it wasn't as bad as I remember it being, but of course I'm not carrying a 40-pound backpack to practice for backpacking, so I guess maybe that helps, or maybe I'm in better shape, who knows. If I remember correctly, this is the old gate or something to the old farmstead that used to be here that was donated to the park. Well, behind me here, up there on the hill, are the backcountry campsites here at the park. You got to backpack into them, but there's a toilet facility and they actually have wood for you, and it's about a mile hike, or you can make it longer. My son John and I came out here one night. If you have a young child, you want to introduce them to backpacking here in the Twin Cities, a good way to do it without going very far. I'm going to go to the north here and kind of go up through the prairie. I could go straight and go to the right too, but I like this one. It gets you up a little higher, get you kind of a nice view. Just about here to the finish. It's going to be just a touch under 7 miles, or right about 7 miles. A little bit longer than I was expecting, but a beautiful day out here, nice and peaceful. Not many people. Of course, it's a weekday. On a weekend, you'd see a lot more people. There's usually a lot of people out here hiking, and a lot of people trail running. If you did all the trails in the park, I imagine you could probably get well over 20 miles of running in or hiking. The south part is just about as big as the north part. So if you're ever out this way, the east side of the metropolitan Twin Cities area, Afton State Park, a great place to spend the day hiking. Till my next adventure, I'll see ya. Thank you for watching our video. Like it if you liked it. Please comment below and subscribe so you can stay current with our adventures.